Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences, like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code LISTEN50 for 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code LISTEN50.
What is up, my beautiful guys, girls, gays, and nays? Welcome back to I Said What I Said. Yay! Yay! The titties bouncing. That's what we like. Period. I'm so glad that you're here with me today because I have an extremely special guest, mother, sister, advisor, icon, Maxine. What is up, girl?
Hey, girlie. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day
to be on this pod. So glad to be here.
It's always a good day to be here.
Yes.
It always is.
Well, yes.
I'm so happy that you have joined me today because we've actually known each other for quite a long time now. And you are a very important person in my life. And I just want to emphasize that today because you have been like an extremely important figure in my life as, you know, an older trans person. Not that you're old, but
she said you're a geriatric girl.
Geriatric girl.
As a senior.
As a senior. No, I'm joking. But like you know, we have an age gap, but like you are one of the most important people in my life.
I think I'm 10 years older than you.
Are you? Wait.
I'm 31.
I'm 20.
Oh, I'm 11 years older than you.
11 years older than me. But
That's
it doesn't feel like that.
generation,
It doesn't feel like that. When I first met you, I thought you were like 21. I mean, look at her.
That.
Look
That's
at
on
her.
SPF 50 daily.
SPF 50 daily, really? What do you use?
Any SPF 50, wear it daily. Do not forget your
You
SPF.
also live in Barcelona, so like that's important.
That's a recent thing.
That's a recent thing. We can get into that. We'll get into that. But we know each other for like about a year and a bit now, I'd say. And Maxine, you're also trans, which is, I could never tell. She's the most cis passing queen.
Are you outing me?
No, the most cis passing icon I've ever seen in my life. Giving fish every single day, all day. Impeccable work. She's telling the fantasy always. But we've known each other for a while, and you're a really important person in my life because I come to you a lot for advice, you know, as a young adult and stuff like that. You know, you've been an inspiration to me for a long time now. And I'm so glad to have you on today because we're going to be talking about all sorts, specifically the whole idea around Protect the Dolls, which is a really important thing in our community right now. But firstly, I want to get into a little bit about you, what you do. Come on, give me the tea.
Yes. So my name is Maxine Heron. I am online comms officer for an incredible charity, which I'm super proud of, called Not a Phase. We are the leading charity supporting trans adults specifically across the UK. We have 4,000 service users, or we hit 4,000 at the end of last year. It might be more than 4,000 now. And we provide free fitness, wellness, and self-defense classes currently in 9 locations across the UK.
Self-defense classes?
Yes, girl. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I know, free fitness, wellness, and self-defense classes. And depending on the city, depending on where you are, there could be up to 3 classes a week where you are. And it's almost like people get a free gym membership when they sign up to Misfits. You know, it's so important to create a bridge really between the trans community and fitness and wellness because it's such a hostile kind of like topic. There's so much animosity around it. Like, should trans women be able to go to the gym?
Well, you saw what happened recently online.
Well, you know, we don't have to say too much about that. But our own stance is that fitness and wellness is something that should be afforded to everyone and whatever gives people confidence. So we do that. We also support trans entrepreneurs with guidance for their business ideas. So we have like a program that people can apply to with their Brainiac trans entrepreneurship, which we love. And then we also have an online series called Trans Connect, which connects people who are in maybe more remote areas or in cities where they already have access to Misfits, and they can connect online whether they're a bit older. I feel like older trans people, they always get left behind, and we found ways to try and support them as well, or like early days between the ages of like 18 and 30. So yeah, we do lots of different things, and then also lots of campaigning, lots of my work.
Yeah.
Social media, email, website.
You've probably seen all of her work on Not a Phase. If you are involved in that kind of community and seeing that kind of content online, I've definitely seen so much of your work. I see everything because I follow everything. I see everything. I'm just omniscient like
online.
this. No, real. You honestly do God's work. For our community, and it is just so incredible to see everything that you're doing, which is why I'm so happy that you're on this podcast today, because it's so relevant to my life, it's relevant to your life, and it's relevant to a lot of the people that are watching. So I'm so grateful that you're here today. Let's talk about how we met.
Definitely.
Because it's a funny story, okay?
I think it was God.
It was God. I didn't even believe in a God. It was the universe, honey.
Yeah,
it was the universe that we met. Essentially, I had been invited to this event called False Idols. I don't know if you know at Drum Sheds. The new Drum Sheds. It used to be a different place. It used to be like Printworks, I thought. I don't know. Anyways,
I think
Drum
Printworks
Sheds
closed before you became of age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to go to Printworks. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That was in like southeast towards like Surrey Quays, Candlewater.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Now there's the new one, which is.
They got the beams, which is good too.
Yeah.
Southeast.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is. Drum Sheds is just like a big rave. They do a lot of.
It used to be an IKEA, and now it's like a huge.
Most perfect place.
Yeah, it's a super club. Basically.
It's a super club. Like a good. How many people can fit in there?
Think the Warehouse Project, but in London.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe, but new. It's really, really good. The production's amazing. But anyway, you're invited along.
I was invited along with a few of my friends. I took like 4 of my friends, and we wanted to get into this VIP section because we were already in a VIP section, but apparently there was a level up that we didn't know about. Okay, so we were like, how can we sneak our way in? And the security wasn't covering the door at the time, and we were like, you know what? Let's make our run. We were very drunk, of course, and we decided to go in. I go in with all of my friends and with Charlie, Martha, and Sasha. You've met Sasha before a few times. Yeah, love Sasha. And we decided to get in. We got in, okay? And I suddenly see a group of people sitting at a table. And I was like, damn, I think these are the hottest bitches I've ever seen in my life. I was like, wait, this really is VIP. I was shook. So I decided to go over, and I first met Eloisa.
See, I remember seeing you in passing in the bathroom. I have a video of pretty much the first seconds that you met, I think. And I remember, you don't really go, you've got into it in the pod. We don't have to mention too much about the road man era. But like, I remember that was your identifier online at that point.
It was.
Then. And I remember like, we kind of walked past you, and then Eloisa, who recognizes everyone, my iconic best friend, Eloisa, who's also a doll, she was like, Maxine, girl, I think that was the road man girl. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, probably, I don't know. And she was like, oh my God. And then somehow you both ended up singing Listen by Beyonce. And I have a video of this. I have a video.
There is a video of this. It is a brilliant video. I remember that so vividly. Eloisa has possibly one of the most angelic voices I've ever heard. She's incredible. So I remember that in the bathroom. I remember coming to the VIP section with you guys, and it was a kiki.
It was a kiki.
It was a kiki.
Fun.
We did get kicked out after an hour and a half.
You guys got kicked out. I didn't.
She actually was a VIP. But yeah, that day, no, you're a VIP every day, honey. You always are. You try. We all try to be where we belong. No. But yeah, no, I remember that day so vividly. It was a great time, and we all like, got each other on socials and stuff like that. So much fun. I actually think we met some of your friends as well that were also really funny. This like gay guy, but I can't remember if he was actually trying to like.
Benny was in the group. There was a guy called Fifi there. There was a
that apparently wasn't gay, but
no, he's kind of queer coded, but he's
queer coded, but not gay. Not gay. Anyways,
that's what they all say.
That's what they all say. Buy now, gay later. Anyways, it was a really fun day, and I'm so glad I met you that day, because ever since then, I come to you for a lot of support. Especially recently. Actually, recently I've been messaging you a lot. I'm like, girl, before I post anything that is, somewhat politically related, which I love to do. I love to do a lot of activism on my social media. I come to you because you're very knowledgeable. I'm so grateful for that. But today we wanted to get into the phrase protect the dolls, which I'm sure you have heard of. If you haven't, you've been living under a rock. I mean, our Lord and Savior Paul Mescal, wearing the protect the dolls top all the time.
It was Pedro Pascal.
Pedro
Pascal, the DILF.
Oh, who's Paul Mescal?
Paul Mescal was in Normal People. He's like the younger Irish one. Pedro Pascal has the doll sister.
The doll sister.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Pedro Pascal. Oh, they all sound like they're the same person to me.
They all have the same.
They're the same. Is it just me? They're literally the same person. Weren't they both in Gladiator or something?
I mean, a lot of men blur into one in my mind as well. Like,
real. Anyways, him, you've probably seen him wear the t-shirt. You've probably seen multiple people wear merch related to this phrase. Protect the dolls. It's recently become like extremely massive.
Yeah.
It's had a lot of, thoughts on it. There's a lot of opinions on it. I wanted to, when did you first see the phrase and thought, oh my God, that's iconic?
So as of right now, I still think it's an important phrase. I think it's an important moment because the way that we have to get people on the side of liberating not just trans people but all queer people is by kind of making it cool. Like I feel like there was this very strong adjacency from the mainstream where people who were fighting for trans people were deemed as like these blue-haired liberals that people didn't really relate to. And suddenly it's become something where people are prepared to protect the dolls on their t-shirts saying loud and proud what they mean. I have mixed feelings about the way that it's kind of become commodified because when you Google Protect the Dolls t-shirt, the first thing that comes up is a t-shirt on Temu for like £6, which doesn't provide any money to a charity.
What we need,
whereas
really.
the original design is by Connor Ives. I think it is really easily replicated, and that's why it's been firstly such a staple in people's wardrobes. It's a very easy thing to wear, and the font's nice and it looks really cool. But secondly, I think it has become something that has become, I don't know, I think it's become more commodified.
Of course, I think
really,
in this
beyond
generation,
substance, kind of.
Yeah, in this generation, in this like kind of society, unfortunately, it's a pretty unavoidable thing that when something becomes a trend, it's like, are people just wearing this because they're following a trend or because they actually want to protect the dolls? So there's a big difference, but there is a reason why Protect the Dolls is so important, and I don't think it goes just into safety reasons. I think there's many reasons. I think it comes to work, inclusivity. It comes to giving trans people jobs, opportunities. There's a whole umbrella of Protect the Dolls. And I think, when I first came across like the whole phrase and I was seeing this, I was like, this slogan is cunty. I was like, this is so real. This is so real. And
Same, when I saw the first picture of Connor Ives backstage at his own show wearing Protect the Dolls, someone just snapped it on an iPhone and it went viral. I thought, well, this is a moment.
This is a moment.
Yeah.
This is a moment. It's giving what, we deserve. I think also there has been slight controversies about it. Like, why should dolls be protected? Why should it just be dolls and stuff like that? Dolls means a trans woman, by the way. I think it would also go to any trans people, to be fair. I think the idea of doll is that we kind of like created ourselves in a way, the same way you can like customize your own Barbie doll or like something like that. I love the word doll.
Sometimes I hear different phrases. Sometimes for the trans masculine people I hear Kens. For the dolls, the Kens, or like what is it? What's the other one? Is it G.I. Joe or something? I don't know. G.I. Joe. It's like a boy doll.
Boy doll.
Something like that.
Love. Yeah.
The action man.
The
dolls and the action man. Quite like that.
Yeah, I think that, the word doll is also just like, I think it's a kind of a liberating word in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a word that I find is comfortable to me. Like I'm fine with the term doll. I just think people need to be a little bit aware of if they are reinforcing the idea that trans women are like fake women. I feel like there is something quite playful about the term. It is like, it's always been a term of endearment, like, you're right, doll. But like, even like from previous decades, like in the 70s or 80s, people would say it to each other, like in a pub, like, you're right, doll. And it's just like, it's like, I like you. And I like that we have this word that is friendly and has become kind
it's
of ours now.
affectionately used in my opinion.
It is affectionately used, yeah, definitely. But I sometimes think that people are running with the phrase without really thinking about what they need to do beyond that. I'm seeing a lot of hashtag Protect the Dolls. It almost feels a little bit like when people were putting the black squares on their grid during the BLM 2020, the rise of the BLM movement online. Yeah. And that was the extent of all they did. They weren't signing any petitions about George Floyd. They weren't doing anything to contact their MPs to talk about police brutality. They weren't donating to black charities or shopping from smaller black owned businesses. And these are all things that you can do to redistribute your power. And I think think that what people are not quite doing sometimes when they throw Protect the Dolls on their Instagram or whatever is they're not ready to redistribute more of their power than just that. And I think it actually takes much more of that. It takes a lot more than just that to make the radical change that we definitely need.
110%. I mean, you know, these kind of like things like BLM, Protect the Dolls is definitely popularized through media, right? You know, social media is so incredibly powerful at the end of the day, but it's that idea of trend following and like how much power do we really have just by using a hashtag? There is so much more that goes into it, as you said, especially when it comes to what we can do in politics, what we can do with, you know, emailing MPs, you know, there is so much more that you can do that doesn't actually involve that much work. I mean, considering, you know, a lot of trans people with large followings at the moment especially have been posting literally pre-made emails that you can send to your MP. I mean, I saw a Maxine post something to do with that. I've seen a few people post these literal copy and paste things that you could put in an email to write to your MP regarding petitions, regarding, you know, trans rights, all of these kind of situations. So actually, you know, posting Protect the Dolls can be more than just posting that. You can do so much more that doesn't require that requires almost the same amount of energy as posting just Protect the Dolls or using the hashtag.
Yeah,
do you know
definitely.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's about supporting. One of the biggest lapses, I think, in support of trans people is their healthcare. There are such long wait times in the UK. There are constant rollbacks on the NHS. I've heard about people's GPs refusing their repeat prescriptions that they've literally had for years. And it's like, what are our taxes even paying for? So I think it's important that people recognise when trans people have been shortchanged in the medical support that they are entitled to, and if they have a GoFundMe, I'd encourage people to donate. If you see a trans charity you like, Not a Phase, or another one that you feel really passionately about, then definitely send whatever you can or fundraise or find a way to organize and support that organization. It's really important.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
So regarding the word protect in particular, I want to speak about why that is so urgent and important, especially right now. So obviously that has been quite a rise in violence against trans people, especially Black and brown trans people. It's a really important idea, but protection doesn't go just into physical safety. It's multifaceted. There's emotional sanctuary, also community validation. I have some notes here that I want to speak about because they're really important, and media representation without exploitation. These are all like very important factors that go into Protect the Dolls. Of course, violence is not okay. And at an utmost importance is protecting the safety of trans people, because unfortunately, to this day, there is so much violence against us and hate crimes, and it's scary. It's a scary world.
In the UK alone, I think lots of people don't realise this, but there was a 186% increase in reported trans hate crimes, just the ones that were reported between 2018 and 2023. That's very recently. And during that time, trans people didn't change very much, but the way the press speaks about trans people has become
shifted
so
dramatically.
Negative during that time. I mean, it's
why
become...
though? it's actually crazy. Like I know that sounds stupid of me to like just be like, why though? But I actually am confused. It's like these days we take a lot of step backwards regarding politics towards trans people, specifically trans women. I just think it's I don't understand why it keeps on going backwards. I mean, I do to an extent. I do think that trans women specifically are used as scapegoats in politics.
Definitely, yeah.
Right now, which is mental to me. It's you know, there are bigger things to focus on in our government and in our society right now than a bathroom that a trans person should be going in. So it's you know, of course, in the term scapegoat, meaning, you know, using that as a priority instead of speaking about the things that are truly important.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest threat to women right now is
men.
Firstly, it's men. This is a genuine, terrifying statistic. But the most unsafe place a woman can possibly be is her own home. And every 30 seconds in the UK alone, the police are called with a report of domestic violence. We know that the people who are enacting that violence against women are people that are supposed to love them, cherish them. So I never see that as a headline on a tabloid.
Never.
And I think the reason that we are targeted is because we're basically the collateral damage in the sales that they're trying to get. They want clickbait, they want drama, and it doesn't really sell stories to say, be careful, watch out for the signs of your own boyfriend turning on you, or watch out for the signs of your own uncle getting weird with you, or something like that. Like, that doesn't really sell clicks, whereas trans people make up a tiny portion of the UK's demographic. Like in the last census report, it was found that trans women specifically are less than 1 in 1,000.
Do you know what I'm loving right now, by the way?
What?
Is that you are full of statistics.
I have all the statistics.
It's like, if anyone leaves a fucking comment that says anything, she's got the receipts, okay?
Yeah.
You search them, they're true, okay? And that's
It's true.
very impressive.
Well, it's important. Like, I always have to make these points when I'm speaking about my work with Not a Phase. That's kind of why I have this little filing cabinet in here.
It's impressive.
But it's true, and I think people often forget, like, you're literally speaking about 0.1% of the UK's population. And there's just no way that we could be that big of a threat. There are not enough of us. Even if we were all evil, you don't need to worry about 1 in 1,000 people. You need to worry about...
the biggest threat is these face cards. Like, please.
Lethal.
Seriously, lethal. Okay? It's like, what? I don't know. Sorry. I get into this, like, headspace of, like, seriously, what damage are we causing?
Yeah.
It makes me sad. It makes me confused. It makes me angry.
Careful.
Pardon?
We have to be very careful. Oh, you're
So
not talking
careful.
about the face cards anymore. You're talking about what I've done.
Wait. Face card in 3, 2, 1.
No. Sorry. I feel like I fucked it, but I'm sure it was beautiful.
No, it was beautiful. Yeah, but you're so right. It's like we are such a small percentage and we are so relevant in the media. And sometimes I just think, why can't we be the fuck left alone?
Yeah.
We're just trying to live.
I literally think it's late stage capitalism. I think the more that these big corporations are like selling our stories, getting so much money, driving clicks, the more they are generating those stories, the more people are buying into them, the less people are going to do things like assess where the money, like they need to assess about the end of the world, really. Like, this sounds so dramatic, but climate crisis is coming and they need to be writing about that every day on the cover, but they're not gonna, because that won't
Where's
sell.
Greta when we need her, please?
Literally. I know she loves the dolls, probably.
She loves the dolls. I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I'm sure she does.
We should have her on here.
Greta, how dare you? Please
don't wear any fast fashion. Fully thrifted.
It's vintage. I'm pretty sure eyelets are a very, like, current trend right now. This is not vintage, baby. It's like...
You could say it's from 2002 or something if you want. I won't tell.
Oh, it is. But yeah, I think, you know, coming back to protect the dolls as well, the whole phrase is also to do with, like, work and livelihood. Because, you know, there's an extreme employment discrimination within trans folks. There's disproportionate barriers to employment when it comes to being trans. I do think that you have to be extremely lucky as a trans person to find good work, to find, consistent work as well. I think, you know, especially with everything going on in politics right now, there has been a big shift in, like, employment for trans people as well, you know, a lot of economic injustice.
I just want to touch on that as well. Like, I feel like people are really picking on the wrong 1%, honestly. Like, this is crazy of people to target trans people so much. But when you talk about employment, it is actually really important to remember that if you're creating a climate, generally speaking, a social climate where it is difficult for trans people to work in customer-facing roles because they're going to get misgendered or hate crimed, or they're going to have to deal with abuse.
I literally have that on my notes. That's
literally,
crazy that you say that.
If they're going to do that, then they and all they want to do is, for example, fund the healthcare that the NHS should be paying for as taxpayers. You know, you're entitled to that healthcare if you're a taxpayer. Then they do get pushed to lines of work that put their own lives at risk, and things like SW. I have lots of friends who do SW, and it for them can be an incredibly empowering thing. We're living in an OF culture where obviously there is a transfer of power. I know that a lot of them feel like it gives them a lot of agency, and I will not discredit their work with that. Of course. I feel like the more that we push trans women to the side like that, and the more that we drive the normalization of respecting trans people underground, the more men will only consume from us in that space, in the SW space. Like the 5th most streamed category on Pornhub last year was the trans category, and
Really?
it was the 5th most searched category in the UK. And often the countries that are streaming the most trans content are the ones with the highest statistics of harm against trans women. So the more that we are fetishized, it kind of goes hand in hand with how much we are harmed. Like there is a direct, I think, link between our oppression and the fetishization. I don't blame the girls for going into this work. I'm like, I respect anyone's choices to do whatever they want for their line of work.
Of course.
Any work is, of course, selling your time and your skill set and in a sense, like your body for whatever you want to do.
But when it becomes this kind of cyclical structure,
when it's like that's the extent of all you can ever be valued as, we're just going to be pushed further underground. I think that we're only going to see the statistics of violence against us rise.
It's a shame, but it's something that, you know, we have to.
I think men are so accountable for changing that, and they're just not.
Well,
like literally, like one of my friends put on her Instagram story recently. She said, "If men are not supporting you during this time, trans women, donating to your causes, going to the marches, block them. Honestly, you are letting men.
You don't need them.
You're letting men fetishize your experience. You're letting men fetishize your existence and your body without advocating for it. What are you doing? Block them. These men don't care about you.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care for your existence. They just want your pussy. Anyways.
Oh.
I want to speak about what you can do specifically in order to help the trans community, in order to protect the dolls, that isn't just posting a hashtag, essentially. Advocate for workplace inclusion, donate to mutual aid and trans-led organizations such as Not a Phase. There is a charity link in my Instagram bio if you want to go to that to donate to Not a Phase. Is that the new donation like thing that you can put in your bio?
Yeah, you can. So actually, that was an Instagram fundraiser that we were doing. That's now come to an end, and we were really grateful for all the support we had during that time. But to donate on our website, there is a link in the Not a Phase bio, which every donation
we're going to be
appreciate.
linking everything.
Yes,
down below, which is really important. Also, a link to Maxine's social handles, in order to like keep involved and keep knowledge on what's going on right now.
Yeah, I feel like another statistic I just want to touch on is that only 2 in 5 people in the UK say they know a trans person in real life, and only 12% of people in the UK say they have a trans friend. Some people do not love a trans person in real life, have never been loved by a trans person in real life, and it shows. I feel like more people just need queer friends. You can expand your entire lived experience of the world, like literally just broaden your horizons and open your mind to the fact.
There's so much to know, and
there's so much more to learn
stuff
about people, and I just feel like you can really deepen your own relationships by having more queer friends in your life. It's so good for you.
Completely agree. I think, create those safe spaces and know those people, because there are so many incredible, talented queer people that want to share their life as much as you want to share yours with everyone else. And it's a beautiful thing to be an accepting and loving person, and that starts from seeing the people that exist.
We need to start humanizing each other,
respecting each other. Challenge transphobia in your circles, by the way. You touched on this, but I think a lot of people also just like avoid the topic. Me personally, especially what was going on in, the media recently about, the biological women and stuff like that, this kind of idea, what the recently got passed in the Supreme Court. I was posting so much, but I noticed that only about 2 of my cisgendered friends did anything. And it's like they're scared to post something about it, and it's like that is so important. I mean, social media is so powerful. As we said, there is obviously so much more that you can do, but just by letting people know that you are an ally to these people makes a massive difference.
Yeah, I think you should also have an invested interest in learning about these things. Like, I think it's important for people not to feel like shamed or like they have to virtue signal in order to show that they're not bad people. I'm not going to think that you're a bad person if you're quiet, but I do think that you should be interested in this, because as much as we're seeing a regression on trans people's rights right now, next it could be queer rights, next it could be women's rights. Completely. We literally don't know what is next. So standing up for the dolls is also standing up for the long-term liberation, I think, of everyone. I
just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on today's podcast. This has been so incredibly informative, and I'm
Thanks
so
for having
grateful
me.
that you could
Yay!
be here. Seriously, if you want Maxine to ever come back on again, you got to let us know, because these conversations are really important, and I love having them.
I'd love for us to do an advice segment next time.
Let's do it, because I do a thing called Confession Booth.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I've
you've
listened.
You've
Yeah,
listened.
it's cute.
Sometimes they're a little bit crazy, but we could do like one that is like dedicated to these kind of topics.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to see that, please let us know. Maxine, thank you so much.
From drum sheds to here, who would have thought
it?
it?
Podcast. We love it, honey. Okay. Thank you, my love. It's been
Thank
amazing to have you. Sorry if I'm a bit
Yay.
sweaty. It's boiling under these lights. Okay. See you in the next one, guys. Love you.
Bye.